Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Simple Email Marketing with activepipe. My name is Cameron, and I lead the customer success team here at activepipe. I'm excited to share with you how simple and easy it is to use email marketing with activepipe to discover more opportunities within your network. We're going to get started here in just a minute, waiting on a couple more people to join us today for the webinar. So sit tight. If you do have any questions before we get started, there is a chat box on the right-hand side of the page, so please feel free to drop any questions in there, and we'll get those answered to you shortly. So just sit tight, and we'll get started in another minute. Ahead and get started with our webinar. So again, thank you for joining us for Simple Email Marketing with activepipe. On today's webinar, we're going to talk through how easy it is to use the existing contacts in your database to help discover more opportunities by utilizing email marketing within activepipe. So a couple of housekeeping items just to talk through as we're going through the webinar today. So number one, on the right side of the page, there's going to be a chat box. If you do have questions throughout the course of the webinar, our team is going to be monitoring the chat box, so please feel free to drop those in there. We'll get your questions answered throughout the course of the webinar, and we will also provide any links to support articles if you need them. What we're also going to be doing is on the right side of the page, about halfway through the webinar today, you're going to see the option to get started with activepipe. If you are interested in learning more about activepipe or signing up for an account, you do have the ability to connect directly with our customer success team and schedule your personal consultation call to walk through activepipe and see if it'll be a good fit for your business. So that will pop up on the right side. And again, if you do have any questions about that throughout the course of the webinar, please feel free to drop those questions into the chat box and our team will get those addressed for you shortly. Now, what we are going to be talking about today is how simple and easy it is to use email marketing in activepipe to discover more opportunities in your database. So what we're going to do is kind of jump forward a little bit and talk through how easy it is to build your own content and emails within activepipe as a Long and Foster agent. And from that point, we're going to then work backwards and start talking about how we're going to actually get contacts in to activepipe and starting to build those audiences so you can send emails right away from the system. So what I'm going to do is actually change gears here. So I'm going to now show you an activepipe account. So what you should now be seeing within our window is my activepipe account. Now, what we are looking at here is the email page within activepipe. So the very first thing that we want to talk about is how easy it is to build your own email content directly within activepipe. So up on the right-hand side of the page, you're going to see a green Create Email button. When I select this green Create Email button, you're going to see a number of templates that will be available in your account to get started. And one of the real benefits about being a Long and Foster agent on activepipe is that your marketing team has essentially started you with all of these templates. So you don't need to worry about the design or the branding that's going to be included in your emails. We've automatically started you with those in your account. So as you scroll down, you're going to see a number of different options that you can set up here. I'm just going to select a simple blue email template here. Now, when I do this, I'm going to set up an example monthly newsletter from activepipe. So when I click continue, this will now bring us in to our email builder. And with our email builder, you're going to notice a couple of things right off the bat. Number one, at the top in the header of this email, you're going to see the Long and Foster branding and design already included in this email. So you don't need to worry about adding that stuff in. We're starting you off with that right here from the get-go. Now, as you scroll down through the body of the email, you're also going to see just below the footer here that we also have your Long and Foster branding included there. So again, just like the header, your footer is going to include all of the branding and design you'll ever need. Now, one final thing that you'll also notice is that we scroll up here, you're going to see some text that's highlighted in the body of this email. What we're actually doing is personalizing these messages. So you're going to see dear first name, where we're actually pulling your contact's first name automatically and adding it into the body of the email for you. So we're personalizing this message to each and every recipient. One other thing that we're doing is down below, we're also adding in your personal details. So in every email, we can include a closing that has all of your contact information so your contacts know how to reach out to you. And we're going to add that as well into the footer with your name, your picture, your address, and all of your contact information. Now, up at the top of the page, I want to start talking through how we're going to build out an email template within activepipe. And to do that, I'm going to start pulling in some different features on the right side of the page. So over here, you're going to see we do have the option to add in both text and images. So I can drag this column directly into the body of the email. And when I do that, I can start creating an email template from scratch. So I'm going to open it up with a simple heading that follows here. And now we can add our subtext. The leaves are changing and school is back in session. See what's happening around town this month. Now we have our simple text added to this email. We can start to play around with the formatting too. So I can select fall is here, and underneath this paragraph option, I can choose to add this as a header. I can change the font and the text right there, and now I have my simple font down below. Now, once we have that situated, we can also start to add in images to this account. So over on the right side of the page, I can drag and drop an image icon. And when I do that, I can select a number of images right here from my account. So here's a quick fall banner that I've added in. And just like that, we have now an image added in below our heading. Now, the next thing that we can do is as we scroll down on the right side of the page, it's always helpful to highlight what you're working on right now. So what we can do is actually add in a featured property to your email. So when I drag this property over from the right side of the page, now you're going to have the option to utilize all Long and Foster listings and add those into your emails in a matter of a minute. So in the lower right-hand corner, I can select this house icon. And what this is now going to allow me to do is actually search all Long and Foster listings by either MLS ID or by where the town and the property it's located, or by the physical address. So I can say I'm working a property at 718 Edsel Road, and right here, our property has now been pulled up. And just like that, when I select 718 Edsel Road, we've now pulled this property into the body of the email with the featured photo front and center. And now down below, it's going to show exactly the description of that property, including the list price, the address of that property, the number of beds and baths, and a brief description down below, which you can also click into. And now you can edit any of these. And just like that, we've pulled in a feature property that we're working on and added it into the body of the email. Now, that's not the only thing you can easily add into your emails within activepipe. Over on the right side of the page, as you scroll down, maybe you want to add in a video. If you do, you can drag and drop that into the center of the email very easily. You can also do the same thing with blog content. So as we scroll down the page just a little bit, I'm going to pull in a featured piece of blog content. And when I do that, in the lower right-hand corner, I can actually search our blog content, and you can see any website that has blog capabilities, you can add in that link right up here, and you can access that content. Down below, you see that I have the Long & Foster Newsroom set up on my account. And when I select Long & Foster Newsroom, we're essentially just taking that information and those articles that your team is posting to the newsroom, and we're actually pulling those in here. So now, since our newsletter is themed around the fall, you can actually start to add in relevant content for your recipients. So this is a fall newsletter. I'm going to select September home maintenance. Click there, and just like that, I've added a clean piece of blog content that your clients can then click through and learn a little bit more about what they should be looking for to maintain their home as we're changing seasons. If you do want to, you can click in here and you can actually change and edit any of this description. Now, we've created a bunch of great content right here. What you can also do as we scroll up is start to clean this up a little bit. So as you can see, we're working our way from the top down to the bottom. We have our header here, which is introducing the topic of our newsletter this month. We have our image down below, and we also have our featured property. Now, with each of these sections, you can also start to really clean these up and make them professional in a matter of minutes. So over on the right side of the page, perhaps I want to take a spacer and I want to separate these two sections. Just like that, I've created a more readable newsletter for my clients. Now, what we can also do is add in a heading. So with that, as we're dragging and dropping this heading in, we can actually members feature property. And when we do that, again, we can change the text. We can even change where we're placing it. So maybe we want to add it in over on the left instead of the center. And now we've added that heading for our featured property. And as you scroll down, we can do the same thing. So I'm just going to add in a quick spacer between our two sections here, clean it up just a bit. And again, I'm going to add in a heading really quick. Now, let's say there's content in here that you've added and you really don't want it in. You can select into the body here, hit the trash can, and delete. And now we've easily removed content from the email. Now at this point, one final thing to talk about is that in your emails, you do have the option to redirect people to your personal social media profiles. So when you get started, we will actually default those to the Long & Foster content, but you do have the option in your settings to include a Facebook, Twitter, a LinkedIn, or a YouTube link. And if your clients click on that stuff, we're going to actually redirect them to your personal sites. Now, one final thing to talk about is as we're going to send these messages, it's always helpful to have a preview of that. So in the top right corner, we can select preview. And you have two options at this point. One, you can either send yourself a preview and see what it looks like in your inbox, or you can also view a preview. So when I select view preview, this now shows me exactly how this email is going to be delivered on both a desktop and a mobile device. And here we have our branding already in place that you don't need to worry about. As we scroll down, we have our heading with our fall banner, and now our professional looking newsletter that includes the featured property that I'm working on this month and our home checklist piece of blog content, sharing relevant details and content to your clients. Now, at the bottom, here's the example of how we're going to pull in your picture, your name, your office, and all of your contact information automatically so you don't need to worry about that. Now, the final thing here, we're going to select done in the top right corner. And now we're just going to add in a newsletter. So we need to add in a subject. So this is going to be our monthly newsletter. Up in the top right, we would then select save. And once we've selected save, we can now choose our quick send option. Now, when we go to select quick send, this is where things get interesting. So right off the bat, when you get started on activepipe, the moment you have contacts in your account, you can choose to send your emails to all the contacts within your activepipe database. So right now, we have 103 contacts selected. You also have the option to create your own audiences. So when you choose create audiences, this allows you to now select an audience that you've built within activepipe. So everyone who signs up for activepipe has the ability to organize their contacts around content that's relevant to them. So an example would be your open house leads, your past clients, potential buyers or sellers, or it could be your sphere of influence. Any way that you're organizing your contacts, we can actually create an audience so you're delivering content that's relevant to that group. Now, one thing to note, as a Long and Foster agent on activepipe, you do have the ability to connect with Moxie Engage. And when you choose to connect your activepipe account with Moxie Engage, we will actually pull over your categories and your tags directly into activepipe. So you'll have access to not only all of your contacts from Moxie Engage, but also your categories and tags, making it very easy to start building your audiences. So in this example, I'm going to select my past clients. And here we have our 3 contacts down below. Now, the final thing to do is that we need to select when this email needs to go out. So you'll see we're actually defaulting this to go out immediately, but you do also have the option to schedule this. So when we select schedule, you can now choose the date and time that you want this email to go out. So 9:30 a.m. on a specific date, Friday the 27th, and then we would click send. And now we've scheduled our email. Now, that's not where things end within activepipe. We want to help you build really clean and professional emails very easily. But the next thing that we want to talk about is how you can take action on these emails that you're sending from activepipe. So in order to do that, I'm going to select return. And now we're back at our main email page again. And what we're going to do now is just below our email section, we're going to go down to our property section. And if you'll remember, we included a property at 718 Edsel Road within that email. So in your property section, the moment you start sending out your properties to clients, you're going to see the ones that your contacts are engaging with the most right here on your property page. So here we have a bunch of properties that my contacts are engaging with, but let's take the example of the one we just sent out. So I can actually search for 718 Edsel Road, click in here, and now I can see the number of people that I've sent this property to, the total number of views, and who has been engaging with it, with our clicks. Down below, I can see our most engaged contacts with this property. So now I'm armed with the number of people that I need to be reaching out to specifically about this property. And one final thing that you can also do is we can check out our interaction map. So when you select the interaction map, what this now allows you to see is where your contacts are in relation to that property. So if you've been diligent, either in Moxie Engage or in your spreadsheet that you're uploading into activepipe, and you're including your addresses for each and every contact, when they're engaging with your properties, we can see that our property is over here, right here at 718 Edsel Road. And over on the right, we have all of our contacts that have been engaging with that property. So this will arm us with the information that perhaps all those people who are engaging with this property are actually looking to move across town. So now we're arming you with more information. So when you do go to pick up the phone and call those people, you now know or have an idea of what you may want to talk to them about. Now, if these contacts were located a little bit closer to this property, maybe that would be a good sign that those people are actually looking at doing a little self-appraisal on their own property to see what their own home is worth. All of this, though, is to better prepare you to not worry about the total number of contacts in your database, but to find those opportunities based on how people are engaging with the emails that you're sending from activepipe. Now, I'm sure you probably have questions about how contacts are getting in here and how we're organizing them. So over on the right side of the page, in your contact section, you're gonna see the option to import your contacts. So up in the top right corner on your contact page, you're gonna have two options. Number one, if you do decide to sync your account with Moxie Engage, you essentially don't need to worry about getting your contacts in and organizing them, since we're gonna pull all that information from Moxie and make it available for you within activepipe. If you choose to go the other route and actually upload your own contacts, you do have the option to do that, and all you need to do is select this Add Contacts button in the top right, click Import, and now you can take a CSV from another CRM or another marketing tool that you're using and easily import that here into activepipe. Now, once contacts are in here, the next thing that we're going to want to talk about is actually building your audiences. So up here in the top left side, we have our audience section. And now this is where we're organizing contacts based off of the types of content that we want to be sending them. So as you can see below, our open house leads are probably more interested in certain content than people that we've worked with as a past client. So really the added advantage here is it's, if you're using Moxie Engage, we're gonna pull those automatically in here, making it easy for you to access that information and build your audiences, but you can still custom create your own audiences by using this green Create Audience button. And in the top right, now what we would do is start to just build out our audience. And when we do that, you're gonna see we have all of our contacts down below here. And now all we need to do is start to select some filters. So we can choose filters like someone's first name, their last name, or their email address, and build that audience. What's also helpful is if you're adding those addresses, and not only is it gonna benefit you at the time that you're seeing what they're engaging with, but as you're starting to create your audiences, you can start to build custom audiences based off of neighborhoods. So maybe you wanna use a zip code and group all of those people together to build out a quick audience. And then for those of you who are using Moxie Engage, you'll have the ability to find all of your tags by selecting tags and then include. And now over here on this dropdown, you would see all of the tags that you've created within Moxie automatically here within activepipe. So that's a quick run through of how you'd utilize email marketing in activepipe to help you find more opportunities in your network. What we're going to do is sit on the line here for a few more minutes and help answer any questions. So please feel free to drop those into the chat box on the right. If you are interested in getting started today with activepipe, there is a link in the chat box which will allow you to schedule time and contact our customer success team to walk through activepipe, answer any questions you may have, and get started on your account. A couple relevant details for everyone. We are partnered with Long & Foster to provide activepipe at $20 per month for all Long & Foster agents. As a special discount, we are starting everyone off with 3 months at 20% off. So the first 3 months of using activepipe, you'll receive at 20% off without having to do anything. So simply sign up today and we'll apply that to your account automatically. So please feel free to drop any questions on the right side of the page. We'll hang around and get those answered for you. But I want to thank everyone for joining us here today. I hope it was informative. I hope it answered a lot of your questions about activepipe. And please feel free to reach out to our team directly through the chat box here or contacting us at support@activepipe.com, and we'll make sure to get your questions answered here today. Thanks so much, everyone.